welcome from our side. We are looking really forward to letting you know how to become a sales leader at SAP. And I can recommend you really this session. Julian had been so many years already in the house, and he is really a pro in helping people to onboard at SAP and to get to know the most possible knowledge about sales in the Sales Academy. So I would really like to enjoy and to encourage you. Put your questions in the Q&A and we will treat them later. Thanks a lot for your attendance. Julian, stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Katrin, and welcome everyone also from my side to this session. Very excited to be here with you today. Obviously, I would have preferred if we could have done that in person in a classroom or in one of our offices, but unfortunately, we still need to stay virtual. So we'll make the most out of it. And today's topic is how to become a sales leader at SAP. So again, I want to thank all of you for joining today and for your interest in SAP and the session, obviously. I personally prefer these sessions if they are as interactive as possible. So I can't see you at the moment, but I'm able to hear you once you have been unmuted. So ways to interact with me: if you have questions, if you have comments, you can use the chat, of course, you can use the Q&A box, but you can also raise your hand and then we'll try to unmute you so you can talk to me directly. So for those of you who are bold enough to do that, I would obviously prefer that. But yeah, let me know all your questions, your comments, and we have actually blocked some time at the end of the presentation for any open questions or discussions. But yeah, again, feel free to also ask them in between. So I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. My name is Julian Bender. I'm 28 years old. I'm currently living in Munich, Germany. I was supposed to be in the US right now. But due to COVID, I had to cancel the plans. And I am almost 10 years with the company now. So I joined SAP when I was 18 through something we call Program of Dual Studies. For those of you from Germany, you're probably quite familiar. For those of you who are from outside of Germany, it's actually a kind of a rotational program where college students are actually hired by corporations like SAP, and you're employer is sending you to school for usually 3 months, and then you spend another 3 months at the company and gain practical experience. And this rotational program goes on for 3 years until you got your bachelor's, and then you join the company as a full-time employee. So that's actually how I started here. And then during that program, I did a bachelor's in business informatics. And I finished August this year my part-time MBA in Mannheim. So my student days are not that far in the past. So I guess I can relate to a lot of the questions and the concerns that some of you might have. So if there are any questions about how to enter this fantastic company, how to apply, the potential options, definitely I'm your guy, so feel free to send me your questions. If they're very individual questions, of course, also after the session, I'm happy to respond to them. So what do I have to do with sales? So once I was done with my bachelor's, I joined a program here at SAP that is dedicated for salespeople. And I'll talk about that in a little bit longer. And then I was in charge for about 5 years for large enterprise account management here in Germany. I know that sounds very important and very difficult, but I was basically the main point of contact for some of SAP's large customers, especially within Germany. So every challenge, every issue they were facing, regarding potential business processes, wherever SAP has a solution to help a customer, I was responsible to find a potential solution, how to help that customer and guide that customer through the process. So I've been doing that for 5 years, and since 2 years I have a new role, but I'll talk about that in a second. So in my early 20s, I was doing a lot of sales here at SAP in a variety of different roles and got quite some experience. So why do we believe that is an important topic? So this is just a quick chart to give you an idea of how many people here at SAP work in sales or sales-related roles. It's actually about a little bit more than 20%. So we have roughly 100,000 employees globally, and 21,000 people here at SAP work in sales-related functions. So obviously a significant amount of staff here at SAP has sales targets and is working in a variety of different roles that have something to do with the sales. And the reason why we have such a huge workforce in sales is that the products and the solutions that we are offering as a software company to our clients are rather complex. So it's not just like buying a pen, right? I would say it's even a lot more complicated than buying a new car. You need a lot of people to interact with the customer to help the customer find the ideal solution for them to overcome a problem or a challenge. And we currently have a little bit more than over 4,000 products in our product portfolio. So there's a variety of different solutions here at SAP, and we have a lot of specialists globally that are experts in these solutions and that can consult our customers what will be the best fit for them. So as you can see, many people at SAP working in sales, there's another issue, and that is what people call the workforce gap. Roughly, the numbers differ depending on who you ask, but roughly 1/3 of these people will retire in the next 10 years. And that's not specific to SAP. That's a general, I would say, trend where the generation we call baby boomers are leaving more and more the workforce. And obviously, SAP is very interested in early talent and making sure that we give young people like yourself the opportunity to join companies like SAP and start your career in, for example, the field of sales. So we make sure that we always have enough people to account for the many customers that we have globally. So something that SAP has done under the leadership of our previous CEO in 2014, we created a trainee program. I think trainee program is the best word to describe what we've done. So we created a program to give young people like yourself the chance to become the next generation of salespeople. And the way we have done it was, at least in this industry, was pretty new, because we didn't hire 40 or 50-year-old experienced salespeople from the market, from our competitors, and just trained them on our products and our processes. We actually started hiring young people in their early 20s, some of them that just graduated from university, and got them through a 9-month program, making sure that they learn all the necessary skills, all the necessary tools, and understand our products in order to be successful in sales roles here at SAP. And the program is called SAP Academy. And as I mentioned before, we started in 2014, and since then the whole project has grown massively. Just a couple side notes. We are actually bringing people from over 65 different countries to the US, to California, where we have a training facility that is dedicated for that program. And over the years, we trained over 1,400 trainees, and we continuously do that. So the program, at least for salespeople, is 9 months long, and we are bringing people, again, from many different countries, 2 times to California, every time for 6 weeks, for very dedicated in-classroom training. So those of you who are coming from a non-tech background, right? You have no idea about software, about technology. Those of you who worked in a variety of different other jobs, no worries. We'll start right at the beginning. We had in the past, even had a history teacher, someone who was actually supposed to become a history teacher, who then decided that she would rather prefer selling software. So we'll make sure that you learn everything you know in that kind of program, that you are being trained by people like myself. So I mentioned I changed roles 2 years ago. I'm now actually part of that program. In 2015, I was a participant. I was a training of the program before I joined sales at SAP. And since 2 years, I'm now on the faculty side. So I'm training SAP's next generation of salespeople. And between these classroom trainings, people have on-the-job experience and mentoring in their home country. So it's basically a combination of in-classroom training and on-the-job learning. And we'll make sure that in this 9-month program, participants experience all the things they need to know and learn all the things they know in order to become successful salespeople here at SAP. And as you can see, the group that we're trying to recruit every time is very diverse. We have people from over 65 countries, 30 different languages, and most of the time we even have more female participants than male participants. So very, very diverse group that is very fun to work with. And I thought, yeah, maybe I'm just gonna pause here for a second if there are any questions so far. And again, you can use the chat, the Q&A, or come off mute. The chat looks good so far. So what I would do is I would actually share a brief teaser, some video footage of the program. It's just like 1.5 minutes long to give you some kind of idea how this whole training looks like and works like.
Find the passion, the thing you love to do, and go for it with everything you got.
I can't change the world, but I can inspire people to integrate into this ever-changing world.
I'm nervous to dream, but I'm brave enough to believe.
SAP Academy is an onboarding program for new sales executives at SAP. Young professionals coming from all over the world who want to start a career at SAP. The idea of SAP Academy came directly from our CEO, Bill McDermott. He's a strong supporter of young people.
It was my dream at SAP that we would have a company that gave 21-year-old people the same opportunity I had when I first started out. I think we have to advance young people, gifted people, bright minds, with passion and energy to change the world. I believe strongly that this idea of diversity and inclusion is a lot more than a statistic on a sheet of paper. There's a very special magic that comes from cultures of inclusion, and everybody matters. And that's the key to everything. You can get anything in this life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. Be real, be human, and love what you're doing.
All right, so that was just a little impression of the program and how people over there are collaborating together in a very inspiring environment. And I can tell you, again, I was in 2015 participant of the program myself. It was definitely a life-changing career move for myself. And I know that sounds very exaggerating, but the people you're going to work with from different countries, from different cultures, you're going to be so close with them. Some of them are going to be friends for life, right? So if we're not in a pandemic, usually there are 1 or 2 weddings of friends that I met at the program that I'm trying to attend, and people all around the globe that you can reach out to also professionally if you have a question, if you need guidance. So that is something that I thought was a huge benefit of doing that. So let me check the chat really quick. So I know there are a couple questions. So this is asking, how long does the Sales Academy take to finish? I'll pause that for a second because I have a quick overview how the program is structured and the duration in a second. How, as an employee, I could access the learning resources and participate as salesmen. Yeah, I'll cover that in the end as well. And will the SAP Sales Academy accept older participants or just for young graduates? I know we had another question regarding the requirements, so maybe that's also a good question for the end. So I'll talk a little about the profiles we're looking for. So yeah, definitely going to talk about the requirements and the profiles we are hiring for sure. All right, so I mentioned at the beginning, the program started in 2014. And the program has evolved a lot in the last couple of years. And with that, I mean, it just got bigger and bigger. So this is a very strategic pillar of SAP. So we have now the SAP Academy for Sales. That's actually the one that I am part of now as a faculty member, and also the one I went through in 2015. It's a 9-month program, and I'll show you as an example how that program is structured in a second. And the people that we mainly have here are people that are going to be direct salespeople for SAP. We talk about so-called quota-carrying people. That means the success of the people is actually measured by the revenue they're generating. So these are people that are, again, the main point of contact for our customers and the ones that are actually guiding our customers through their digital transformation journey, and are the ones that are trying to find the best solutions to help the customer to overcome challenges. And we have different profiles here. We have generalists. The role that we're referring to here is account executives. So that are the main point of contact for the customers. But SAP's portfolio is so rich and has grown so massively over the last couple of years through acquisitions that we even have, for certain parts of the portfolio, we have specialists, right? Just think about it. You're going to a big electronics store and someone is telling you, well, talk to Mike. Mike is the expert for TVs. So we have something similar here at SAP, only we're selling software, not TVs. So we even have a lot of specialist and expert roles here also within sales. The next program in the middle is the SAP Academy for Pre-Sales. So the Pre-Sales Academy has also been started in 2014. And as we are having so many different solutions and products in our portfolio, and sales on the left side cannot remember all of them, or at least not know them in every granular detail, we're actually having solution and product experts. And these are the people that we are calling pre-sales. So people that have a deeper technical know-how and knowledge and know the solutions by heart. So for those of you who might be interested in a career that is very product detail oriented or have a strong technical background, that might be also something to consider. And the Pre-Sales Academy is actually 3 months longer, so it's a 12-month program. And then we have our newest part of the Sales Academy, which is the Academy for Digital Sales. It's a 6-month program, especially tailored for people that are using digital selling techniques in order to sell SAP's portfolio to customers. So as we're having so many customers around the globe, a lot of customers are now approached through whether this is phone, social media like LinkedIn and so on. So we have dedicated teams that are using these techniques very successfully to sell our products in our portfolio. So I want to give you a quick overview. So that is for the Sales Academy, how such a program is structured. Again, it's a global program, but we are hiring regionally. So you can apply for the program, for example, in Germany. You could apply for it in Switzerland. You could apply for it in the UK, in India, Japan, North America. That's basically up to you. The country where you apply, this is where you later on going to work as salespeople. We even had a lady from the US and her partner was actually living in Norway. So she applied for the program in Norway and started as a sales executive in Norway after the program. So we'll start with a local onboarding in your home country because you're new to SAP, a lot of things to learn. But after 6 weeks, we're already sending you to the US for 6 weeks, classroom training in San Ramon, California. After that, you spend 12 weeks in your home country on the job training, mentoring, and then you go back to California for a second rotation of classroom training. And then on the job training, another 12 to 15 weeks, and then you transition into your new role. The whole journey doesn't end here, right? We'll not leave you by yourself there. You will get additional coaching and mentoring for 2 years. So we have a huge support structure that's going to help you to stay successful once you're done with the program. Again, the other programs, pre-sales, digital sales, are a little bit different. Pre-sales, for example, stays entirely for 6 months in California and get very, very deep and detailed training. So if you have any questions about that, maybe digital sales, feel free to reach out to me after the session. So why do I think this is, or why was it such a good career choice for myself? First of all, SAP invests a lot in this program, and it's actually also seen outside of SAP. We're gaining a lot of awards and recognition for the training program, and it's actually a quick start for you if you are interested in a sales career here at SAP. Usually it's really hard sometimes to get into sales at large corporations. This is an acceleration program for all of you outside of SAP. And again, I mentioned you're gonna gain a very, very strong network of peers all around the globe. There is not a single city or major city around the globe where I wouldn't have someone where I could crash on their couch. Whether this is Tokyo, San Francisco, Dallas, you will meet people from all around the world, and they're going to become close friends. And of course, something professionally, again, you have a great opportunity to work closely with huge corporations, huge customers of SAP from 25 different industries. So that is something that I personally really enjoyed. So I know we have only 4 minutes left. And again, I want to open it up to questions. And I know we have parked a couple questions in chat. So I think the question, how long it takes, the program, Sales Academy, 9 months, that's definitely important. And I see you raise your hand. So maybe we can unmute you and you can talk to me directly so it doesn't sound like a monologue.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to ask you about what was your decision, like how was your decision made to go to the Sales Academy? What was your decision process? So initially, when I was doing my bachelor's, I always knew I wanted to work closely with people and with customers. That's always something that was fascinated to me, and I felt like social interactions and helping people is something that really fit my personality. And I was actually looking for different consulting jobs because I felt like, okay, that fits very well a consulting profile. But then I realized that if you, in sales, you even have more freedom, right? Because many of the decisions haven't been made. A customer is basically sitting in front of you and telling you, this is the problem we have. How can you help us? So there's a lot of, I would say, creative freedom and different routes to success that you can develop with a customer. And that was something that really fascinated me. So I thought, okay, this program at least is going to teach me all the necessary tools I'm going to need in order to be able to do that. And after that, it worked out very well, and I never regret the decision that I've gone that way. Okay, can I just ask a follow-up question? Sure. Did you go right after your bachelor's? Because I've heard that the Sales Academy, or at least right now, isn't really taking people right after their studies. So I think that's a good question, and that is something that many of you were asking also in chat regarding the requirements. So I was actually hired directly right after my bachelor's, but I had some kind of work experience through this program of dual studies, right? I was familiar with the company, and I had some practical experience. So I would say if you have some work experience after your bachelor's or while you were doing your bachelor's, that's definitely going to help, right? It
doesn't, and that also means you could already been in a sales role. So we have very, very diverse hiring profiles. I think asked the question if we accept older participants. I think the average age is 24, 25, but we had people who are 30, 32, and they were already doing sales at other companies, and they still thought, okay, this is a program I should go through in order to learn all the necessary things. So if you're coming fresh out of university, just done your bachelor's and have no work experience at all, that is not like a KO criteria. But work experience is definitely something that HR and the people who are doing the recruiting process are looking for.
I'm actually in the same position that you were back then. I'm also doing the dual studies in Germany.
Okay.
And for me, it's definitely a goal to go to the Sales Academy.
Well, again, if you already feel like the program is a good fit, feel free to also reach out to me directly, right? So if you're in a very individual situation, happy to take questions via email or LinkedIn. I'm just going to share my contact details here, right? So of course, the Academy is also on our website, so sap.com/academy. They have now an Instagram channel as well with a lot of tips also for the application and the program itself. But you can also see my SAP email address and my LinkedIn profile here. So feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn as well. I'm just going to check that I didn't miss a question. Maybe a couple more words on the requirements. You should definitely be a customer-oriented person if you're seeking a career in sales. You're going to work very, very closely with customers, so you should enjoy working with people, and you should have the desire to help people and find solutions for them, because that is what you do pretty much every day. You're basically always trying to find new ways to help people and help companies overcome problems. I know there was a question regarding salary. Honestly, I cannot answer that, because that is always dependent on the country you're working in, because cost of living and salaries are different. So if that is something you're interested in, you would actually need to reach out to HR in the country you're planning to apply for. If we are learning more hunter or farmer skills, well, it's a combination of both, right? Farmers are actually making sure that there's always enough new opportunities coming in, but definitely that hunter mentality and the necessary skills to close a deal, close an opportunity, and win a customer over for SAP. So there's this classical hunter-farmer mentality has actually been replaced by other sales strategy and approaches that all you're going to learn about in the program. So highly recommend to apply. As you're an SAP employee and we have limited time left, I would recommend you reach out to me directly, and maybe we can have a chat about potential opportunities for collaboration. Are you visiting clients for a longer period like consultants, or is it more remote? Well, I mean, COVID put us 100% virtual, and I'm sure that's the same for all of you. So we spent a lot of time virtual, and we were actually not able to fly this year to the US because there was a travel ban. So we're hoping that these things relax and cool down in a bit. I was usually traveling on average 3 days a week. And that means I usually visited 3 different customers. But consultants usually stay on one project for several weeks or months. So I would say I was traveling as much as a consultant, but I was traveling to different places. I didn't stay like several days or weeks in one place or with one customer. And yeah, of course, a lot of things are now done virtually, but you should still be able and willing to travel. We're talking about significant investments into software, and people buy from people. So I always prefer to be in front of a customer, like I would have preferred to be physically in front of you giving that keynote. Well, again, thank you very much for having me today. You have my contact details. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, shoot me any questions, LinkedIn, email. Yeah, and maybe I see some of you in one of our next groups. Looking forward to it. and enjoy the rest of your student day. I hope you have some great sessions. Thank you very much.